Charlie McAvoy has re-signed in Boston, 8 years, $9.5 million a piece. And it's interesting. You don't often hear this. Usually it's either, that's an overpay, or wow, they got a deal. But Dom Lucian actually put it in his graph, and he said, worth every penny.
Oh, he's an amazing player. As a Leaf fan, I couldn't help but be like, oh, so Morgan Rielly's like gone. But this is the new market. This is why I said Quinn Hughes was going to get more than Elias Pettersson. Like the price for defensemen is wild. Absolutely wild. But at least he's really good.
I wonder if the new, and this could be stupid, but I wonder if the new... Remember when...
Market inefficiency is cheap defensemen?
Not cheap defensemen, but a system that can accommodate cheap defensemen. Like if you ever figured out truly how to have a system where the max your defenseman makes is 5.5, which is what Leddy was making last year. Pelech is what?
Well, there's Pelech and Pulock, which is not confusing at all. But Pulock just got, I think it was 6 point something for 8 years.
Okay.
Which is going to look...
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look so good.
But they play... Like, they have a system where you can have guys that you can plug in that maybe aren't that great. And that's not... I'm not taking... Like, that aren't, like, superstars, and it's okay. And I think whoever the next great mind is in hockey, wherever that emerges, whoever can figure out how to have defense play extremely well, extremely effective, maybe top third in the league without having a $8 or $9 million defenseman. I mean, that's got to be the next big thing.
The Capitals got it wrong with Barry Trotz. Not just because he's successful, but they didn't want to pay him his money. No, you guys don't get it. Barry Trotz keeps prices down. He plays a certain way. Every Barry Trotz team forever
Preds
has always played a certain way. And who on those teams got friggin' paid?
None.
Nobody.
David Legwand.
Weber. That's it. Because he got offer sheeted.
And I think Suter was on those teams, right? He developed on those teams.
But he didn't get his money until Minnesota gave it to him. Barry Trotz keeps prices down. But they didn't want to pay him. No, that's too much.
$4 million too much.
It's way too much.
I thought there was some tension between him and the GM. And I think that might have been part of it too.
Get over it. You won a cup. And he keeps prices down. Egos, they'll kill you every time.
Wow. Man. And lastly, I did want to mention too, Dallas looked pretty good with Braden Holtby in net. And that was interesting because we talked about this in the offseason. You know, he signed there for $2 million because it's probably the money he lost from Vancouver. I think that's about what he lost in the buyout, maybe. And
I wouldn't have paid him much more than that after his performance in Vancouver.
Certainly not. But as we said, if you don't make it happen this year, you could find yourself out of the league.
Yep.
And, they need him because they have, Hudobin's playing.
Yep.
But Bishop is not. And it has not played for a year. So it's one of those things where this is a great opportunity. It was such a bummer for him to go down. Like, same with Mrazek. Like, Mrazek groin, he gets a stick to the head and has to leave. Did you see that?
Holtby,
yeah. It was like a stick. It was like an errant stick, and it got into his mask.
Oh, the first
and I think
week
it might have been a concussion. Like, to me, I feel like it might have been, and I'm totally speculating. I don't actually know. Felt like it might be a concussion.
Oh no!
Like, he got up, he played, but he was, and then Hudobin had to come in, and I was like, damn it! Like, it would be stories like that are the best stories. Guy has a couple of 2-3 bad years after winning the cup,
right?
And really needs to turn it around, starts hot, and then it's like, wow, resurgence. I love stories like that.
An older goalie signing with Dallas it's a match made in heaven because they play sort of similarly to what I was talking about with the Islanders.
That's a really good point.
They're really structured. Like, what a place to reestablish who you are in this league. The Canucks, you're signing up to be the guide for their young goalie, right? He's going to be your apprentice and also the starter. But the team was not set up to help Holtby succeed. The Stars are. It's a good match.
Really good point. They do play that smothering defense.
Good fit.
All right, shall we do the press conference?
Here's the Holtby injury, if you want to see.
Yeah, it's bizarre, right?
Oh.
Yeah, just inside of
just a weird thing.
Like he's caught unawares, big change in direction. Yeah, that's, I mean, it at very, if nothing else, hurt like hell.
Yeah. Not great. And it comes after he made that unbelievable save too. You see that one on Strome?
No, there's too much hockey. There's just too much.
I'll
Okay.
play it for you as well.
Can I also? Okay, I got a text message to read you guys once this is done. Hang on.
Anyways, let's get into it.
Also,
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press
That's
Conference.
never happened before. I got scared by the thing.
by the intro. Two things before we get started, Jesse. Sorry to do this to you.
Sure.
First off, I got a text from Sid Sixero just like a minute ago.
Did you say the Calder Cup means nothing?
No, he said Dangle's impression of me was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. So
Dangle's impression of me is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
you know what we need to do is get you guys on. We need you to read like 50 Shades of Grey or something, like something really uncomfortable, but as Sid, and then have Sid read it too. And the other thing is somebody asked on Twitter, they're like, hey, Adam, can you help me with what Charlie McAvoy's contract would be per day? Talking about it on the podcast, help me put numbers into perspective. So what you do, $9.5 million. And you divide that by 200 days.
It's exactly 200 days?
200 days. So per day, once this extension kicks in, because I believe that starts next year, does it not?
Yeah, I would have to.
Charlie McAvoy will make $47,500 American dollars a day, which is probably 55 Canadian a day.
Do you see why I cheered against player who I won't name, in contract negotiations? Oh yeah, the little guy. Come on, Charlie. Always root for the little guy. You go and get your $47,000.
But he's worth it. He brings that much value to the team, probably more in a free and open market,
No,
which
I
it's
know.
not.
I'm just saying there is no.
And what
little guy.
are the billionaire that owns the team? Let's talk about that. What's his intake per day?
Okay, sorry. Let me correct myself. I will cheer for Charlie McAvoy versus Jeremy Jacobs.
Yes.